Hello, welcome back to the Pedestal Life Society. My name is Braille, and I want to talk about how do you make a man scared to lose you. I'm going to talk about, before I go into the details of how to do that, I really want to talk about how not to do it, how to actually inspire the opposite of him feeling as though he has to be on his P's and Q's to be with you. If you're a woman who is overly critical, overly emotional, very violent, and giving stalker vibes, you will not inspire a man to feel like he needs to be on his P's and Q's to be with you. Why? Because these are the women that instead of inspiring him to be on his P's and Q's, you actually put the fear of God in them to the point that they shut down and they don't necessarily care to be in the relationship that you desire to be in. So let's talk about how do you make a man feel scared to lose you. And I hate that title, but for the algorithm, we have to word it in a certain way because it's not necessarily inspiring him to be scared or inspiring him to be fearful of you. It means that you have set yourself aside from, and you're not like other women. You're not like the average woman. You're not moving in the same direction as most women. So this inspires a man to be on your P's and Q's. But what do you have to do in order to inspire that in men? First of all, you have to have an identity. This whole entire assembly line that you all have going on social media, where you are inspired by a trend and you want to look and sound like a trend, and this whole I'm going to be like this woman here in order to inspire or get the type of men that she is getting or having chase her is a formula for disaster because it will not work in the manner that you think. Because being on the assembly line and being like other women instead of setting yourself apart and being uniquely you is not going to inspire what you think it will inspire because the version of woman that you're trying to be when you're on that assembly line, he's already experienced it. So having your own identity, knowing who you are as a woman, is very important in order to have a man feel like he needs to watch his P's and Q's in order to be with you. Having standards, having a certain level of rules for engagement and standing on those standards, basically holding your square, being 10 toes down in the standards that you outline and the standards that you portray. This is very important for a man to be on his P's and Q's in a relationship with you because he knows that you have certain standards. Basically, your word is bond. When you say something, you stand on it. You don't backtrack. You don't try to do something different than what you are saying that you stand for. For instance, if you are a Christian girl and you believe in not having sex before marriage, stand on it. That makes you different than other women. That gets you off of the assembly line. It makes sure that he realizes he's dealing with a woman who has certain standards for herself and she's not moving like the average woman. Remember this, if you teach him that your words do not matter and that you make him very comfortable in ignoring your influence, you're setting yourself up for failure. A woman who inspires a man to be scared of losing her is always making sure that her influence matters. And that's the thing. See, influence matters in relationships. If you're with a man currently and you cannot influence him, anything you says to him is just goes out one ear and out the other, then it's very important that you pay attention to that because you don't have influence. And not having influence will not inspire him to be on his P's and Q's and making sure that he does what is needed to make sure he doesn't risk the relationship. Because if you teach a man that he can risk the relationship and still continue to keep you, then you become an average woman. You become the woman that you don't necessarily want to become. And another way to make sure that this man is scared to lose you is to stop dealing with men who do not have values. who do not value family, who do not value being a great man, who do not value masculinity, who do not have those values. Because it's going to be more difficult to deal with a man who he doesn't even apply his own word. So if a man gives you a promise and he doesn't stand on it, he's not 10 toes down in his promise. He doesn't, he tries to, flip his promise or make it seem like he said something else. Trust me, this man will not stand on his P's and Q's with you because he doesn't stand on his own word. A man that is going to stand on his P's and Q's with you and is going to fear the losing the relationship, this is a man who's going to stand on his own word. You can take his word to the bank because his promises are everything. His word is his bond. Stop getting with men who don't have that sense of value, who don't have their own standards. They can't even be trusted. Okay, this is very important to getting with a man who is gonna be scared to lose you, because even the words that's coming out of his own mouth, he believes them, he stands on them, he values them, and it shows in his life. Never allow yourself to be manipulated in the relationship. Every time you do, you're encouraging a man to not take his relationship seriously. You're encouraging a man to not be on his P's and Q's. You're encouraging him to not fear the relationship. So, these are some tips I can tell you that will help you to make sure that a man is scared to lose you. He's always going to be scared to lose the woman who is different. She is not like the average woman. She is not on the assembly line. She is no longer in the matrix. She moves differently. And this woman, he's going to be scared to make the wrong move because he hasn't dated this version of woman yet. Trust me when I tell you, a lot of women think they're doing something different, but in actuality, you're moving like every other woman. And this is how you make him scared to lose you. When you stop being on the assembly line and you get out of the matrix and you begin to accept the identity, the womanhood, the woman, the unique version of you, and you start to build your self confidence and create a sense, an environment that's going to help you grow as a woman, and you become this entity, this woman that is not only respected and admired by her peers, but she is moving in a manner that she's in love with versus what society tells her is for her. And hopefully this helps you to begin the process of being in relationships where men are on their P's and Q's. They have values, you have influence, and you can have a healthy relationship. It is very much possible, ladies. And also, before I end the video here, I have Vetting 101. It's available and ready. So if you haven't gotten into that workshop, you might want to go ahead and grab it because all of my courses are continuous. I'm always uploading new information and new content to all of my programs. And I will see you all in the next one. Always remember, stay a pedestal wife. Bye.